Hi Alyssa, it's nice to see you again.
Hi, you too.
So do you remember last time we met, we did some word work and some reading together? And we're going to do something similar today, and we talked to Mom and Dad, and they know that we're here. So we're just going to go through this easel, is where most of the questions are going to come from. And you can take your time, and it shouldn't be stressful. Some of the things you might find really easy, some of them you might find difficult. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah.
All right, do you need to go to the washroom or anything before we start? Okay, so just try your best. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is, what are these words?
Heavy, laugh, strange, and expert.
What are these words?
Passage, reek, amazement, and massive.
What are these words?
Quench, spectacular, mechanic, prudent. Went, led.
What are these words?
Epideme, proxy.
All right, we're going to stop there. I want you to read some words that are not real words. What is this word?
Bad,
Great, let's try the next one.
op,
What is this word?
op.
Correct, let's try the next one. What are these words?
E, cog, and chunk.
What are these words?
Clip, duds, and Y.
What are these words?
Bufty, fan hip, naff, twem, ejects, yang, lead, zerd, staced, says,
Listen to this story. Ben's mom said, when your homework is finished, we'll watch a movie. When will Ben and his mom watch a movie?
when his homework's finished.
Good, let's try some more. Chelsea found a spot next to the pool. Put her towel down, put on her goggles. Taking a handful of coins from her bag, she closed her eyes, threw the coins high into the air, and listened as they splashed in the water. For the rest of the afternoon, Chelsea pretended she was diving for sunken treasure. Why did Chelsea throw the coins in the water?
She was pretending it was a treasure.
Miguel put a large bowl on the table and washed all the vegetables under cold water. Next, he tore a bunch of green leaves into pieces and put them in the bowl. Then he sliced the rest of the vegetables and added them. Finally, he picked up 2 large spoons and mixed everything together. He wiped his hands on a towel and called out, "It's ready!" What is Miguel most likely making?
Salad.
Wow. The British sport of cricket is generally similar to American baseball. In both sports, each game is divided into innings, during which one team bats while the other fields. One way these sports differ is how long the games last. Unlike basketball, a cricket game can last from several hours to several days. What is one way the sport of cricket and baseball differ?
Cricket is a longer game.
Sarah wakes up early every morning to deliver newspapers. Yesterday, Sarah's friends invited her to a late-night concert. Even though Sarah really wanted to attend the concert, she had to tell her friend that she couldn't go. Why couldn't Sarah go to the concert?
Because she had to get up early in the morning to deliver the papers.
The last of the sunlight was fading behind the trees, and Jamar realized it would soon be dark. He continued along the trail, noticing that it split in 2 directions up ahead. Now that the daylight was nearly gone, he realized he was unsure about which direction he was heading in. He stopped to check his trail map again and found that his hands were shaking. "Stop it," he scolded himself silently. Jamar suddenly regretted not having taken a wilderness training course. Why did Jamar regret not having taken a wilderness training course?
Because he was lost.
Ever since kindergarten, Ling knew that she loved to draw and paint. In her high school art classes, she discovered many types of material that she knew she couldn't afford, using only her babysitting money. Lost in thought, Ling began petting her dog. Then she thought of several neighbors who had dogs and were often desperate to find a dog sitter. Suddenly she smiled and thought, "I'll start my own dog walking business." Why did Ling decide to start a dog walking business?
She wanted to buy art materials.
In 1960, Wilma Rudolph became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in the Olympics. Despite this achievement, when Wilma was younger, she could barely walk due to a battle with polio. Although this was an unlikely start for a track and field superstar, Wilma rose above the physical challenges she faced growing up and became one of the most celebrated female athletes of her generation. Why was Wilma's success so surprising?
Because when she was younger, she could barely walk.
The planet Jupiter features a large storm system that has more than 3 times the size of Earth, called the Great Red Spot. This storm system has been compared to a large hurricane on Earth. However, the Great Red Spot has been raging for at least 400 years. This may be because, unlike many hurricanes, the storm system never passes over land, and it's regularly fed by a heat source in the planet's interior. What can the Great Red Spot be compared to on Earth?
A hurricane?
More than 1 million years ago, nearly all of Italy was underwater. Recently, Italian researchers discovered a 4-million-year-old whale skeleton 6 miles inland from the Mediterranean Sea. How did a whale skeleton end up 6 miles inland?
It was underwater and the whale swam there.
An icebreaker is a special type of ship that is used to clear frozen shipping lanes. Contrary to common belief, these ships don't push through the ice. Instead, the specially rounded steel-strengthened hulls of the icebreakers allow these ships to rise on top of the ice and break it with their own weight. The ships also use very strong electric motors that have great power, even at slow speeds. When clearing shipping lanes, how do icebreakers break the ice?
They use their weight.
Old houses can reveal a lot about the history and lives of the people who once lived there. People would often put ordinary objects behind walls or in unused chimneys. Shoes are commonly found, as well as keys, coins, and newspapers. The reasons for hiding the objects aren't always clear, but it's always interesting to try and piece together the past. According to the passage, what can old houses help us learn about the past?
About the lives of the people who lived in the house.
The Amazon rainforest is home to the most diverse species of animals and plants on Earth. Scientists believe that its thick layer of towering tree tops sustain nearly half of the Earth's animal species. This upper layer, which absorbs sunlight and water through leaves, provides nutrients for animal life that live among the branches. Moreover, it shades the abundance of animals and plant life further down. Surprisingly, this rich layer of life has flourished despite sprouting from extremely poor soil. What part of the Amazon rainforest most supports life?
The leafy treetops.
There are 2 major types of amnesia: retrograde and anterograde. Frequently depicted in television and movies, retrograde amnesia is the inability to remember events from the past. Anterograde amnesia, on the other hand, is the inability to create new memories. One of the most heavily studied amnesic patients is a man called EP. EP has vivid memories from his childhood but cannot remember new information. Why would a doctor not diagnose EP with retrograde amnesia?
Because he wasn't really sure on what he had.
Some settlers to the American prairies built their houses out of sod, which was cheaper and more readily available than wood. Sod provided a home that was cool in the summer and warm in the winter, but heavy rains often seeped through. According to the passage, what are some advantages of building houses out of sod?
They might be cheaper.
Give me another example.
They last longer.
The easiest way to tell the difference between most alligators and crocodiles is by the shape of their noses. Whereas an alligator has a wide U-shaped snout, the crocodile's narrow snout is V-shaped. With its wider snout, the alligator is able to use its jaws to crush its food, particularly prey with hard shells, such as turtles. The narrower crocodile snout, although still very powerful, is not as well suited for eating prey with hard shells. Why is an alligator's jaw have more crushing power than a crocodile's?
Because the alligator is more hungry.
Doing well. Since its beginning, the Cannes Film Festival has earned a reputation for being one of the largest and most highly acclaimed film festivals in the world. At the festival, filmmakers compete for several prestigious awards. Thousands of international journalists cover the event and broadcast the names of award-winning films, directors, and actors to audiences around the world. What do filmmakers hope to gain by winning at the Cannes Film Festival?
I think they want to get on TV.
The opposite of hot is cold. Read this word out loud and tell me the opposite.
No. The word is yes, and the opposite is no.
Good. The opposite of yes is no. Let's try it again. Read the word.
It's yes, and the opposite is no.
Okay, let's try this one. Read this word out loud and tell me its opposite.
The word is big, and the opposite is little.
Good job. That's right. Let's try some more. Read this word out loud and tell me the opposite.
The word is different, and the opposite is same.
Go ahead.
The word is west, and the opposite is north.
Read this word out loud and tell me its opposite.
The word is forget, and the opposite is remember.
Go ahead.
The word is hungry, and the opposite is starving. The word is whisper, and the opposite is talk.
Tell me another word.
Shout. And the next word is finale, and the opposite is beginning. The word is temporary, and the opposite is permanent. The word is fictitious, and the opposite is factual. The word is none, and the opposite is all. The word is pessimist, and the opposite is optimist. The word is ignorance, and the opposite is knowledge. And the word is protagonist, and the opposite is antagonist.
Doing well.
The word is elevate, and the opposite is go up. The word is archaic, and the opposite is old. The word is sophisticated, and the opposite is smart. The word is meager, and the opposite is many. The word is flippant, and the opposite is turn.
Great. Okay. Read this word. Oh, this is near. Another word for near is close. another word that means the same.
It's big, and another word that means the same is large.
That's right, let's try another one.
It's look, and another word that means the same is see.
Read this word out loud and tell me another word that means the same.
Gift and present, mug and cup, sketch and draw.
Read this word out loud and tell me another word that means the same.
It's zero and empty. It's locate and find and ancient and old.
Read this word out loud and tell me a word that means the same.
Tale is story. Equivalent is equal. Educate is teach. Timber is wood. Comics is cartoons. And ponder is consider.
Wow.
Figurine is a picture. Agriculture is history. Transmit is stop. Ballad is a ball. Inquisitive is shout. And humidity is cool.
A dog walks as a bird is to fly. Let's try another one. 1 to 2 is the same as 3 to
4.
That's correct. Let's try the next one. Snow is cold as sun is to
Hot.
Good job. That's great. Let's try the next one. Read this out loud and tell me the answer.
Love is to hate, as good is sad. Foot and toes is hands and nails. Empty and full is quiet and loud. Night and moon is day and flowers. Bear and fur is bird and wings. Whisper soft is yell and talk. Blanket, bed is rug and floor. Walk and run is slow and crawl. Sponge and scrub is broom and dust. Red and color is square and triangle. River and water is forest and leaves. Plumber and wrench is painter and paint. Red and stop. And green is go. Fire and hot is ice and cold. Brother and boy is sister and girl. Eye and see is ear and hear. Bark and dog is quack and duck. 8 to 7, 6 to 5.
try the next one. The cat is playing with a ball. Let's try again.
The cat is playing with a ball.
Read this to yourself and tell me what word belongs in the blank.
In. Walking. In. Coach. Try. Don't. And monkeys. Until and competing. Formations and brown.
Doing well.
Great. She and wrong. Never. Light. Eat.
Read this out loud. I'm going to keep track, but don't rush. Read in your regular voice.
I start now. It's really hard to imagine, but there are over 1 million known species of insects in the world. There are more types of insects than there are types of other animals. Did you know there are hundreds of thousands of fly species and almost as many different species of bees, wasps, and ants that have been discovered so far? Many insects have very sensitive ways of sensing their surroundings. Usually, if they have a well-developed sense of touch, their vision or their hearing is not as accurate. At the same time, if their eyes work extreme well, their senses of hearing and touch are not as strong. Biologists consider some insects to be social. Social insect species include termites, ants, and many types of bees. The members of each of these insect species often live together in a big and well-organized group. These social insects usually have a special talent for finding their way back home.
Good job. Okay. This one as well. Okay. Read this out loud. I'm going to keep track, but don't rush and read in your regular voice.
Okay. Some of the big and tallest trees on Earth are the redwood trees. They grow along the California coast. A few redwoods have large tunnels that people have cut through them. The tunnels are big enough to drive a car through. There are also some redwood trees in California that are taller than the Statue of Liberty in New York City. Redwoods are also among the world's oldest trees. Many of them live over 2,000 years. They are not fully grown until they are over 400 years old. Redwood trees are evergreens. Other kinds of trees lose their leaves in the winter every year, but evergreen trees have green leaves all year. Redwood trees have big, huge branches with leaves that look like tiny needles. They also have thick, red bark. The bark protects them from the fire.
Good job. All right, Alyssa, that is it for today. Thank you so much for reading
Okay,
with me.
thank you. It was fun.